Hello. Hi everybody. So just waiting to see if this is streaming okay. And my dogs are trying to break down the door because I locked them out because they like to bark at, well, just about anything. Alright, looks like... Yep, I see stuff on the screen. Cool. So today we're going to talk about, well, kind of two things, but they're related. So we're going to talk about the Unlock-ADAccount cmdlet in PowerShell, but to do that we're going to have to set out our lockout policy in our domain. So that'll be the first thing we do, is actually set the policy. Typically it's not recommended to mess too much with the default domain policy within your domain, but I think that's what we're going to do because this isn't a real domain. So normally what you would do is, let's first open the group policy. So we'll go to our domain controller, and I'm on DC2 again, and I'm just going to open up our group policy. So normally I would actually recommend creating a new policy and calling it your account policy or whatever, but for laziness I am going to, so you can actually see the settings here. So for laziness I'm going to just use the default domain. But oh, and my girlfriend's in here too.
Hello.
So as you can see right now, it's set for 0 invalid login attempts, which means it's basically set not to lock out. So we're going to set it for 3, and so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll just right click here and go edit, and I have to follow it down. So computer configuration is there, policies, right, Windows settings, the next thing, security settings, which is right here, and then account policies, I think it's this one, and then password policy. So, and oh, wasn't palette policy, it was actually account lockout policy, my bad, sorry. So we're going to go ahead and set this for 3, though I'd probably set it a little higher than a real domain. I've been in environments where they set it for 3, and that's really easy to do. So they've gone ahead and set it, so this automatically sets it to account lockout duration. So you get 3 bad attempts, and then if you, and then it'll automatically unlock the account after 30 minutes and reset the account after, and reset the counter after 30 minutes. So after the last bad logon attempt within that 30 minutes is when it'll start that 30-minute timer. So anyways, I'm going to click OK here, and now what we'll need to do is go back to our Hyper-V, and we'll start up the Windows 10 Enterprise machine. And while that's booting up, we'll go back to our domain controller, and we need to find a user that we can lock out that isn't locked out. Let's go find that. So let's just go to Active Directory here. So we'll go to ADAC, Active Directory, active, man, if I could type today. Alright, so we need a user, and it doesn't really matter which one. I'm not going to use the domain admins as an example because I don't want to, oops, they're in people actually. Because I don't want to, but I just want something easy to spell. This looks pretty easy to spell. Sure. So that looks like a good account. So what I'm going to do is actually just do a Control R, and then so I just have it there. And let's see, this, I thought I started this up, I guess I didn't. So let's wait for the Windows 10 machine. So what's going to happen is should be able to, and actually that's a good time. So we'll make sure that Aikido here isn't locked out. While that, I guess we booted kind of fast actually. So let's just do a quick look at get AD user. We'll do Aikido sure, right? So they're enabled. So that's good. And I think, and if we actually look at the account, we can double click here and we can see that the account is not locked out. If it's locked out, and you'll see in here in a minute, there'll be a lot more text. So we'll just leave it at that. So let's cancel Aikido there. Let's try logging into our machine here. Sure, that looks good. I'm just going to scoot that up so I can see it. And we're going to say other user. I don't know if I can paste that in. Nope. AIKOSHOR, and it doesn't matter, I'm just typing some gibberish in here. Oh, and we're going to do it again. This will be the second bad password, and then the third, and then I think if we put it in again, we should say locked out. Nope, doesn't tell me locked out. All right, well, let's look and see if the account's locked out. It should be. So Kyosure is not locked out. Why? 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 So what's that password policy? Let's just take another quick look. I'm going to connect it up DC1 just to make sure. Yikes. Well, let's just do it this way, actually, it'll be faster to find. There we go. Now we don't have to dig. So Kyosure is not locked out. Unless we just weren't quite connected to the domain yet. Let's try it a couple more times. Oh yeah, there it goes. It went locked out. I get betting the first logon or two was not maybe the computer was not connected to the network. Now we should see in DC2 here. Let's do a quick find just to refresh. Yep, there it is. So I think either the policy hadn't fully come down or I just went too fast because it may not have replicated between both domain controllers. Anyways, you can see that computer is now, or that account's now locked out. So if I just do an unlock, oops. So we'll do an Unlock-ADAccount, and we'll use that name. That is enough to unlock the account. So I'm just going to do a find now to redo it, and then yep. So now it's not locked again. So now we just have the normal text. So that's basically how the Unlock-AD. It's pretty. I don't know what properties. Let's see what properties are here. What if confirm auth type credential identity partition nothing that interesting is here. So I did run into this one time where I had a executive who, this was at a previous job, not the current job, but at my last job, and basically they had just changed their password and then went on a business trip, but they forgot to change it on, I think it was an iPad or something back at their house, and they weren't married, they didn't have anybody that could get to the house and sort of either shut the device off or whatever. So what happened was, every time that device tried to check in for email or whatever, it kept locking their account, and it was doing it like every 5 or 10 minutes. So, you know, this executive was across the country, couldn't deal with that. So what we ended up doing was, I ran a while script on our server and ran every 5 or 10 seconds, something like that. So basically, I did a while. So first, what I did was I said x is equal to 0. And then we did a while, let's say x is not equal to 0, or not equal to 1. Dang it, let's try that again. I hit the arrow button, sorry. So while, little brackets, and then x is not equal to 1, and do this, and then what I did was I ran, I ran the Unlock-ADAccount, and then in this case we'll just do the secure person pretending that's them. And what that was doing was, and actually what I did was, and then I did two other things. So that I put a sleep, because I didn't want this to run like every second, sleep. Well, actually, it's just technically a start, sleep, every 10 seconds, and then I just did a, write dash host, and then I just said, and then I just actually just did a, we'll just do a get date here, and that way we know that at least we're incrementing. So I think that's it. So I don't know if you can see all that. Let me just extend the screen a little bit. There we go. So in theory, I think that will write out the date every 10 seconds. Let's see if it does it. And then I'm gonna, there, yeah, so if we wait, so it's 4:34:15, and then another, so the next one should be 25, and that way I could at least see that the, yeah, so it's running every 10 seconds. So just to prove it, there's 5, and then we have another 10 seconds, should be 35. And so what that running was, let's go ahead and try to lock out this account, but I think it's going to be near impossible. Where's our Windows 10 machine? So connect, and then let's, oh, just so I can get their name again. So other user, AIKOSHOR. Gibberish 2 3 So yeah, it's almost impossible to lock this out. And while this was running, and again, this isn't like safety and security wise, this isn't great. Sometimes politics trump security, and usually and common sense. You know, executives always trump common sense. So anyways, that's a quick little dirty script if you ever need to get out of a bind with your executive, and just a quick show how the unlock works. So theoretically this should not be locked because it runs every, oh, it's locked, and it should be unlocked here in a second. Let's wait for it to go again. Oh, there we go. I think I accidentally paused the script. There we go. Yep. So every time that runs, it's just going to clear it. So that's basically the gist of this. So it's a little different. I'll go ahead and put this little piece here, and I'll replace the Securo person with just a $1 user. So I'll put that in the notes. That way you guys can copy it out if you ever get in a bind like that. It is worth running. You know, sometimes it's just about getting them off your back. And the other part of that was once they got back into town, then they forgot they even had their iPad was still doing the thing. But so I had to follow up with them and then remind them. And then he was like, oh yeah, let me look at that. And you know those people are interesting to deal with at the least. Anyways, and you can just do a simple Control C a couple times, and that'll break it. Anyways, I hit a pause. I think I accidentally paused the script, so that's why you get these times get a little weird. But it doesn't matter. You know, again, it's running every 10 seconds or so. So, anyways, hope you guys had a good weekend, and until next time.